The MVP of this team at one time anyway was Ronald Acuña Jr. Still, you can make a case for him, obviously, being the most talented player of this team. Friend of the show, Harold Reynolds from the MLB Network says it's time perhaps for Ronald Acuña Jr. to move on.
If you wanted to trade Ronald Acuña Jr.,
you'd have a lot of takers.
Absolutely. You would get a haul in return for Ronald Acuña Jr.
Greg, you might think I'm crazy, but did I not say that all-star break? I'd trade him. Everybody thought I was nuts. But that's how you flip your organization around. If you're going to put him at 6th and 7th in the lineup, that is destroying the player, and that ain't helping your team at all.
So right now he's hitting 6th or 7th because he's not hitting at all. And Jeff Francoeur brought up something this morning during the locker room. He says it's no secret that Snit and Ronald Acuña Jr. don't really get along. Now, I don't know what's true and what's not. We have heard the whispers. I don't know to what extent that is. Was he upset that he dropped in the lineup? Was he, I don't know, felt like he was disrespected, or at least he seemed it that way when he got dropped in the lineup? I don't know. Listen, I get it, big picture. If you trade him, what you can get in return, you're going to get 5 top prospects, 2 everyday players. I mean, it's not absurd to think that. But you got to realize there's going to be a lot of backlash across the street. A lot of backlash. When I say across the street, from the fans who walk in through the gates. You better be ready for that if that's something you're willing to do.
But I've also said if my GM doesn't have the stomach to consider everything, I don't want him as my GM. If you don't have, look, you could say, nope, can't do that. Would not be good. I look at the contract. Here's what Ronald Acuña's got going for him. And here's what the Braves have going by keeping Ronald Acuña. You got a guy who he's going to want when I say a big payday, big payday. So you know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get the guy busting his ass for the next couple of few years because he needs to prove that A, is going to be healthy for 3 years in a row, and everything else that comes with wanting $300, $400, $500 million, whatever the number might be. I'm not going to get a Jake. The guy can't afford to Jake because he's got to be the best he can be for a multiple of years to get as much money as possible. So let's say he starts at 200. Can he work it to 300? Can he work to 400? I don't know, but that's up to him. His statistics, his availability, all those things are going to come into play. So I know I get that out of the player if I don't think he's going to resign here. And by the way, do I think he's resigning here? No, for a couple of different reasons. Do I believe whoever the next manager is has to figure out how they get along, maybe better than these two guys get along, where they live in a world where it's coexisting to the point where we can do something for each other? Yeah, that's got to be part of it as well. I'm not dumb to that.
Ronald Acuña busts out of his 0 for 25 slide, knocks in a run in the first inning last night, goes 1 for 3, strikes out again. So he's been in that massive slump. But let's go back to Harold Reynolds talking about the Braves and this Acuña relationship.
I just don't understand sometimes how we shuffle. This guy did everything, MVP, best player at top of the order. So he comes back from injury, everything else. He's not getting there going. So let's put him in an uncomfortable position in the lineup. We'll put him at 7th. We'll move him to 6th. No, you put him at 1st. Your team is going nowhere.
That's 100% right.
As you go, Ronald.
If you value Ronald Acuña Jr., his happiness and him finding it again should be the #1 priority for the rest of this season.
Period.
Winning games doesn't really matter anymore.
But instead, and this is, it's fact, Profar goes out on a suspension, and you come back and treat him better than you do Ronald Acuña. Oh, you're going to hit first. I'm sorry. Once Ronald Acuña comes back, he is the leadoff hitter of the Braves, period.
So they're not playing for anything, much like Drake Baldwin. Get him experience a catcher. Keep Ronald Acuña Jr. happy atop the lineup. Let him work his way out of the slump atop the lineup where he's most comfortable. That's what they're saying, if I may read between the lines.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that's the most important thing. Because this is either going to be a better relationship next year or it's not. He's going to bat first, he's going to bat second, he's going to bat third. I need to find out what the hell I got going on in my bullpen. I got to need to find out what I have in Bryce Elder. I got to need to find out, did Hurston Waldrop absolutely now ensure? Those are the things that are more
Ronald
important.
Acuña Jr. is a given at this point. You know what he is when he's healthy.
They just
when
said
he's healthy is the big caveat.
His happiness is the most important thing. No, it's not. Now, again, relationship building, if it's got to be done whether Brian Snitker's here or not, yeah. New manager comes in, hey, Ronald, we need to have a relationship where you're one of the best players in the game, and that helps us get to the postseason. I don't want to play this card, but the card is there. You won the World Series without him, and what have you really done with him? And that doesn't mean he's not talented. That doesn't mean I want to disrespect him. That doesn't mean anything other than I would like to see this guy play for a $500 million contract. What do we say about Kyle Pitts? It's the same thing. Prove your worth. You might not come back to me. I might not even want you. Or maybe you're so good I can't afford you. That's what you should have in Ronald Acuña. I don't know about happiness.
I'm not doing it, but I'm saying I understand it. If you take the emotions out of this, if you really want to use their term, flip the organization and restock the minor league system and really shore up a bunch of things at a huge risk, then yeah, that's the guy you're going to deal with, the contract and the ability. If you're going to trade one guy and you're going to get a king's ransom in return, it's going to be Ronald Acuña Jr. But like I said, there is a flip side to that coin, and people are going to go crazy in this town if you make that deal. Crazy.
The Shohei Ohtani not trading him is as dumb as anything I've ever seen. Because you really just want a shot at a king's ransom. The idea that you get a king's ransom it's far-fetched.
I think you will, though, for Ronald Acuña
No.
Jr. There's always exceptions to the rule.
Nick, I'm talking about the guys panning out, and it becomes a king's ransom.
Oh, you're right. No, on paper, when you talk about prospects, that's what I meant. You're right about that. You're totally right.
Yeah,
we don't know what they're going to be.
Right. I don't know what the reality is. Can I get a piece? Part of it is I get a piece that I automatically need right now. That's the given part besides the prospects. I don't know how many times it works out. Juan Soto gets traded, not once but twice. What did you end up getting for him? I don't know. I got a guy and then I got James Wood, who maybe, I don't know how often it pans out where the king's ransom is really a king's ransom. I don't believe that anybody's above the conversation. That's all. I don't believe anybody's above the conversation. And
Great players have been traded in the past. They'll be traded in the future. They'll be traded in the here and now.
And the game goes on once they retire on top of that. Joe DiMaggio retired. You know what happened? The game went on, and the Yankees won a bunch of World Series in the 50s. So Mickey Mantle retired. They had a nice, really big, long day, and then the game went on. They went to spring training the next year. On and on and on and on. So here's the deal. The idea of hitting 6th or 7th, is that making Ronald Acuña unhappy? I would imagine it's a blow to ego, no doubt about it. But I'm not necessarily invested in your happiness. I'm invested in your ability to play better than maybe you've played lately.
And maybe, just maybe, they're going to need him to drop in the lineup next year if they're going to be a better team. I don't know. Maybe it's a experiment right now that they're trying to work through, and Ronald Acuña Jr. isn't seeing it that way. But Harold Reynolds Jr. talks to enough people. He's getting that from somebody. He's not just making stuff up.
No, hitting 6th or 7th is a sign.
Yeah. And Ronald Acuña Jr. isn't happy about that. I believe Harold Reynolds when he says that.